Hello, and welcome to the Project for Awesome 2022. If you don't know what the P4A is, there's a link in the video description to more information. This year, for the Project for Awesome, I will be supporting A21. A21 is a global organization founded in Australia to abolish slavery and human trafficking in the world. Human trafficking lives and thrives on vulnerable people, and since the start of COVID-19, the amount of vulnerable people in the world has risen by staggering amounts, with vulnerable groups before the pandemic exposed to its most destructive effects. I don't need to tell you the toll that COVID-19 has had on the world and people over the last 2 years, but it may surprise you to learn that the pandemic did not make human trafficking and exploitation more difficult. It rather created more obstacles and complications to counter trafficking efforts. A21 has a full impact report on these difficulties if you wish to learn more, but I'll give a quick overview here. Human traffickers change their tactics to operate online and exploit people who had recently become vulnerable or whose situations had deteriorated further. This led to a rise in increased online exploitation and created difficulties in identifying victims and reporting potential trafficking that was taking place. Many of the resources that were directed to counter trafficking efforts were redirected to help deal with the pandemic, making a complicated job even more difficult. But it's not all bad news. Despite these setbacks and obstacles, A21 continued to reach, rescue, and restore. During 2020, A21 increased the amount of frontline professionals and the general public trained and educated in anti-trafficking information. With offices in 14 countries, they continued to work with survivors, welcoming 130 new survivors into their care and securing freedom for 234 victims of trafficking. They assisted 105 legal proceedings, resulting in the sentencing of 13 traffickers to combined 316 years in prison. These statistics and more are presented on A21's website, and you can examine those documents if you wish to learn more. As 2022 continues and the global pandemic begins to enter its last stages, hopefully, organizations like A21 will need our support so they can support people who have been victimized and exploited through vulnerabilities the pandemic has exposed or exacerbated. Just learning and being educated about human trafficking and slavery already helps to expose this dark truth of the world we live in. You can also donate to A21 directly or vote for this video on the Project for Awesome website. I hope as you enjoy your Project for Awesome and watch hundreds of amazing videos that you remember that when you listen, when you focus your attention on someone or something, you really are helping and showing that you care. Stay safe and don't forget to be awesome.